Alright, and I think we're rolling. So this is the bit of an experiment, first effort for me on doing a bit of a work in progress on a drawing. And so the drawing is going to be for the title of one of my books that I expect to self-publish. What have I got here now? It's going to be a watercolor eventually, but I have watercolor paper so that once I'm done the drawing, I can then do the watercolor painting, which hopefully I'll show you as well. This stage will probably be mostly the drawing itself, though. Pencil, eraser, very high tech. I have done already a digital sketch, which I can show you here. So I'm going to have that off camera, using it as a bit of a reference. Kind of like the vibe of it. There's not a ton of detail, as you can tell. I'll move that back. I'm also likely going to be using some reference photos. Generally I use them for inspiration. I'm not taking much detail from them, and partly because they're obviously copyright, but just to get a sense of human faces and positioning, and probably swords at some point too. So I had the principle of drawing there. I'll use some of the real life photos for small details that I can then make the ultimate image look much better. So with that, enjoy. I'll maybe make a comment here and there as it occurs to me. Otherwise, there'll be a bit of drawing. So, alright, we're going to start again. We've turned off the autofocus of the camera that is videotaping this, so hopefully there'll be a lot less vibrating noises and up and down out of zoom. So I'm going to, as I said, this is the first try at this. We're going to keep going, and I will just re-wake up the computer. Here I'm looking at the hand and realizing that it's a little too small, so I'm going to do a bit bigger there. And then I also was looking at the hand on the sword, and it looked a little plain for me, so you'll see I'm going to shift the fingers around a little bit there. So I put the forearm and the bicep in here. You'll see me kind of take a second look at this pretty soon. And although I think that actually looks super cool, the posture of the arm with the downward sloping elbow almost makes the whole image a little defeatist. It's a little bit of slumping into defeat rather than kind of the energy of the original sketch. So I'm switching that around now, bringing the elbow up, kind of getting that drive down of the sword, and try and get a little more action into the image. The expression was a bit defeatist too, actually, so I've tilted the mouth a little bit, made it a little more of a bared teeth grimace rather than just sort of a gasp of desperation. And the hand was bothering me. It just didn't look quite right, so I'm fiddling with that here and there, trying to get a little more emotion into the fingers. So in that last pause, you would have seen me kind of looking, if you could see me, you would have seen me looking at some reference photos. And, I'm doing that for a couple of reasons, one of which is little details are what adds realism. Even if you can pick up a little thing here and there off an actual photo, reality is a wonderful teacher more than any other artist you'll find. And the second is, with anatomy and swords and all the rest, I do like to just double check and make sure that my mental image, which has the power of the picture, still actually translates into something that's physically feasible. So I fiddle a lot to make sure after the fact that it's somewhat tied to reality. And reference photos are a great way to do that. Here you see me just taking quite a bit of care to make sure the sword seems somewhat straight from the hilt all the way down to the blade. It's easy to kind of drift a ways on that.
You'll see me darkening the lines quite a bit here and there. I swear half of the lead ends up in the bottom of my hand when I'm drawing freestyle like this, and I really should have a piece of paper underneath my palm to keep that from happening, although that might also make the video a little harder to read, so I might just have to endure the handful of lead. I will not be licking my hand, by the way.
Alright, I think that is calling it done for a night. So hopefully you enjoyed the sketch. With luck, we'll do some the watercolor unless something goes awry, and we can show you the end product. Well, thank you very much, and have a nice evening.